In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a rainbow loom winter hat with vertical stripes. So what you'll need is one loom, and you want to have it set up in a rectangular shape so that all the pins are in line with one another. And as you can see, I moved the blue connector pieces away from each other so that I have the length of 7 pins without any connector pieces underneath, because our hat is going to be the length of 7 pins at its longest point. And I've chosen 3 different colors. I have silver and dark blue and a metallic black. So I'm going to be starting on the second pin in from the left side of the loom, and I'm going to be doing my first color, which I'm going to do black, and I'm going to go up and diagonally to the right. So the band will go up and diagonally and twist. And for the next band, I'm going to go down and diagonally to the right. Again, I'm going to twist. And then from there, we're going to go up and diagonally again and twist. We're just going to zigzag our way up and down. So this time I'm going down and twisting. And I'm always going to twist the bottom layer so that it doesn't fall apart when you take it off of the loom. And now back down diagonally and twist. So now we've gone the length of 7 pins, and I'm going to work my way back. So I want to go to the pin above where I ended, and I want to twist my way back down, zigzagging up and down over what we've just put on, making X's. And you always want to push it down. So now I'm going to go up diagonally and twist. And then back down diagonally and twist. And then finally up diagonally and twist. And then you want to push all of this down. You always want to push down after you put a layer on, because you want to have room to add your next layer. So now again, I'm going to do the length of 7 pins the same way that I just did, and again I'm going to use black. So I'm just going to zigzag my way up. And then when I've reached the top, I'm going to just zigzag my way back down. So I'm just going back down. And you always want to make sure when you're putting the bands on that they're staying in the same order on the pins. So you want to try to keep the ones on top at the top of the pin, because they need to stay in the same order. And then we want to take our bottom layer off, since we have 2 layers on. And you can see on the end pins there are just 2 bands, but on all of the center pins there are 4. So on the ends we're just going to remove the bottom band, 1 band. So you want to take it with your hook, pull it out and over the top. And then for all of these pins in the center, we're going to remove the bottom 2 bands. So we're always removing from the bottom and pulling it out and over the top. And then at the top, we're just removing 1 band. Flip to the other side and do the same thing. 1 from the end, and then 2 from all of the center pins. And 2 from this next, and then at the very bottom just this 1 single band. So now again, we're going to push all of this down. And now I'm going to start my next level. And this time I'm still going to use the length of 7 pins, but I'm going to start using my other colors. So I will start with silver. Again, I'm going to start on this left pin. I'm going to work my way up, going diagonally to the right, up and down. And now that I've reached the top, what's going to change is I'm going to switch to my other color. So I'm going to go up to the pin above where I just ended, but this time on my way back down, I'm going to be using my other color. And by doing this, what's going to happen is that the stripes on the hat are going to turn out vertically instead of horizontally. So now again, I want to remove the bottom layer. This time I'm going to be getting rid of all of the black bands. And the same thing on the end, I'm just removing one. And then on all the pins in the center, I'm going to be removing the bottom 2. And then at the top, just 1. Flip to the other side, again, 1 from the end pin, and then 2 from all of the next pins. And then 1 from the end. And again, we're going to push all of this down. And now I've done 3 layers using the length of 7 pins, and I want to make my hat narrower. So what I'm going to do is take the bands on the end pins and move them over 1. So I'm going to start at the bottom left, take the band on my hook and move it up and diagonally to the right, place it on the top of that pin. Then I'm going to take this blue band from the top and move it down and diagonally to the right. And then what I'm going to do is take the bottom band from either side of these pins and pull it over the top to secure that in place. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to take the bottom band and move it down and diagonally to the left. Take the bottom band and move it up and diagonally to the left. And then I'm going to remove the bottom band from either side, just 1 band. So now we've narrowed to the length of 5 pins, and I'm going to put the next layer on. So again, I'm going to follow the same pattern. I want to keep the blues on top of blues and the silvers on top of silver, so I'm going to start with blue, and I'm going to just work my way up. And then on my way back down, I'm going to use silver. And now once again, I want to remove the bottom layer. So this time you can see I have 3 bands on the end pins and 4 in the center. So I'm going to remove 2 bands from each pin this time. So I'm just going to go up the outside here. Again, I'm removing 2 from the end. Flip to the other side, and again, 2 from every pin. And then I'm going to push all of this down. Now that was the first layer using the length of the 5 pins, and I want to do 3 layers. So I'm just going to do the same thing again. Always keeping the same colors on top of one another. And then come back down with silver, or whatever color you're working on. And again, now I'm going to remove the bottom layer. This time I only have 2 bands on the end pin, so I'm only going to remove 1. But I'm going to be removing 2 from all of the center pins. And then on the other side, do the same thing. And then 1 from the end. And now I'm going to do 1 more layer using the same pattern, so I'll fast forward here. Again, I'm going to be removing 1 from the end pins and 2 from all of the center pins. So now you should have done 3 layers with using the length of the 5 pins. And now once again we want to narrow the hat. So we're going to move the bands on the end pins in. So I'm going to start on the bottom left and move that band up and diagonally to the right. Take the silver band and move that down and diagonally to the right. And then I want to remove the bottom band from each of those pins just to secure that in place. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. It's going to come down and diagonally to the left, and the blue one will come up and diagonally to the left. And then I want to remove the bottom band from either side. So now once again I want to string the next layer, and this time we've narrowed it down to 3 pins, and you can see that I want to start with silver this time. So I'm just going to zigzag up and down and then work my way back with the blue. And now I want to remove the bottom layer. And again, you can see I have 3 bands on the end pins and 4 in the center. So I'm going to be removing 2 bands from every pin again. And then flip to the other side again. We're going to be removing 2 bands from every pin. And then push that down. And by now your hat should be working its way down through the bottom. So you can push it down from the top, or when it gets far enough you can help it along from the bottom. And so now I want to do another layer. I've done 1, and this is going to be the second layer with a length of 3 pins. And again, I'm going to remove the bottom layer, so I have just one band from the end to take off, 2 from the center, and then 1 from the end. And doing the same thing on the other side. So now that was the second layer. I'm going to do one more. And again, remove the bottom. So we have 1 on the end and 2 in the center. And then 1 on the end. Do the same thing again. And then you want to get that to come down. So now, again, I want to move the ends in. So I'm going to move the silver up and diagonally, and then the blue is going to come down and diagonally, and then go to the other side. The blue is going to come down, and the silver will go up. And now you can see I have 4 bands on these 2 center pins. So I'm going to remove 2 from each side. And now if you'd like to, you could take your hat off at this point, if you just want it to be plain at the top, or if you would like to add a little ball at the top, which is what I'm going to show you. We're going to have to expand out again. So I'm going to take my black again, and I'm going to expand out to the length of 3 pins again. So where this center row is, where you have your bands, if you just move over 1 to the left, you want to come up and diagonally to the right and twist. We're going to have to twist again since this is like a bottom row because there's nothing underneath it. And then I'm going to come down diagonally and twist. And then I'm just going to work my way back, again twisting. And now at this point I want to remove the bottom bands just in the center here. I'm going to take the bottom 2 blue bands off and then flip to the other side, and I have silver on this side. Take the bottom 2 bands off of that, and now I want to do one more row of black. So again, I'm going to start on the left, and this time I don't have to twist. I'm going to go up and down, and then I'm going to work my way back. And now again, I'm going to remove the bottom layer. So I have 1 on the end, and then 2 in the center, and again 1 on the end. Flip to the other side and do the same thing. You can pull that down. And now I want to move the ends in again. And then from the other side, we're going to move that in as well. And then I'm going to remove the bottom 2 bands on either side. And then what I want to do is, you should have 2 bands left on each of the pins. I'm going to get these 2 bands on my hook and move them up to the pin above. So now they're all 4 on the same pin. And I'm going to take the bottom 2 and pull them over the top. And I should just have 2 bands left. I'm going to take them on my hook. I'm going to remove this row. And then I'm going to take another band. I'll take another black band. Or you could use a clip if you'd like. And I'm going to put it on my hook and pull it through. Make sure it gets through both bands. And then again, I'm going to put the other end on my hook, and then I'm going to loop one end through the other and then pull tight to make a knot. So you can see this is what the hat looks like with the vertical stripes, and you can see it has the 3 silver rows on the one side and 2 blue, and then if you flip to the other side it's going to be the opposite. It'll have 2 silver and 3 blue on this side.